Hello and welcome to my workshop. Started some towels, tea towels, in about October, just for something to do while we were looking after mum, really. And I spent, I don't know how many times I've come and just spent 5 minutes, 10 minutes, hour, and it's taken me until about last week to weave 5 tea towels, and they're not the greatest. But funny enough, I found it really useful. Just sitting there and doing it, and they started off as a project. I was going to just follow a copy of a pattern I'd seen, and that's why I'm not going to sell them, and because it's somebody else's, and I changed the colours as you do, but then I started changing the colour of weft as well. And it ended up really as a colour and weave project, which I'd never really understood what that meant, because if you choose colours and then you're going to weave in colours, that's colour and weave, surely. But this actually changed as I was going from towel to towel. So I'm going to explain how and my reasoning behind it. And I'll show you the towels, but at the end you'll see the difference between them. So I started off really choosing my colours from a colour wheel with just what I'd got. And I'd got some blue, this blue. This is a cotton linen mix, which I'd picked up somewhere. It is not the greatest to weave with because it shreds, and unfortunately it was in the selvages, which is another story. But that was the start of it as well. So I wanted a blue something, but I wanted some stripes in it because that's what the pattern called for. I had lots of, was trying to use up some yarn really. So I'd got this, which is a variegated, as you can see from there, and it's got the blues in it. And so I started looking at this and going, right, what colours do I need with this? Well, there's a sort of greeny colour in there. I don't know if you can see that. There is a dark lilac. There's the blue. So I thought, right, okay, I've got a green. So this is my green. Here we go. And it's close, so it's similar on there. So that was one of them. And then also on my colour wheel, I thought, well, yeah, we're almost opposite, so it shouldn't go too badly. Then I wanted a sort of point of interest. And so I decided on a red. Now I've got various reds, to be absolutely honest with you. So I went back to the colour wheel, and I went back and had a look at my blues, and there's the blue there, and I went straight across to the reds. And I'd got a much more orangey red than that, which is this one. It's actually mixed with the green at the moment because I just took it off. I haven't got any left of it. I actually did what I expected to do, and that's use it up. So that was the red that I've used intermittently. So that was that. So I've got my 4 colours there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, variegated blue, green, and a little bit of red in there. And then I thought, right, okay, I'd got this boucle lilac, and I'd used it for something else, and I thought, got quite a lot left. So what shall I do with it? And I thought, well, I do like a thicker tea towel, and I thought being boucle was going to make it nice, and I'll give it a bit of texture. So the first one I wove was with the boucle. So now you can see the stripes of the weft there, and you've got the boucle over the top of the weft, and you start immediately going, oh, that's changed the colour somewhat. So my bright blue has just gone a bit duller. My green has almost disappeared. The red I quite like, so that's good. And the variegated, which is there, it brought out the sort of colour out of it. And the only reason I went for the lilac is because when I looked at it, especially this, I sort of quite liked that with it. So that was where that came from. Gaily went along and we were caring for Mum, so I just thought, this is just for me. It doesn't matter if it goes wrong. So that's fine. Managed one. I thought that's lovely. And then went on to the next one. And I thought, I don't actually like that. I like it, but I don't want to do 5 towels or 4 towels as I thought it was going to be. All of that. And I didn't particularly like the feeling of the texture. So I thought, got lots of that blue. Doesn't work well as a warp. So let's try it as a weft. So here we go. So I sort of rolled on the colour, if you like, by using the lilac in the hemming. So that started us off. And then we went into the blue. Now this I like very much, but you know, it's lovely and it did the job. And I thought, yeah, that's doing well. But as I was going along, I thought, okay, let's make them all a theme and all a bit different. So the next one was the variegated. Now this was really interesting. Now look at this. This is almost stripy horizontally as well. Well, it is stripy horizontally as well, because obviously you're going in a line, and even though it's variegated and you can see the variegations on the actual, which has come out a lot more on the vertical lines on the warp, and then mixed with its own weft as well, it brings that colouring out. And this I really liked. So this is fantastic. And I liked that. I started off this time again with the blue as the hem, and then went on to the variegated colour. And then I thought, this will be my last one, says she. So I decided, let's do a little bit of both. So we've got in here, started off again with the blue, and then we went on to the lilac, then we went on to the variegated, and then the blue, lilac, and then again the blue. I like that, that's nice. So that was that. And then as I moved it on, I realised I was probably going to get another towel out of it. So the question was now, I don't want to start adding another colour. I've used up the colours that I wanted. Well, I was getting to the low on the blue anyway. So I thought, right, okay, I'll almost do a plaid. So that's what it's ended up with. Of course, I followed the pattern of the warp and copied it and used that same colour flow, slightly different dimension, almost a plaid pattern. And I was just following the colourway of the warp, which is blue, green, red, variegated green, red, green, blue. And then I decided to reuse that in the weft, which is what you see, it's almost like a plaid. But I was running out of blue, so I thought, well, I can't use the blue in the middle, so I've had to use the variegated and then just repeated it at the bottom. I have to say that this is my most favourite one of all the colourways going. So that's what we've ended up with. 5 towels, all the same warp colour going through, all 8-2 cotton or 8-2 cotton linen mix, and the boucle cotton. And we've got 5 different colourways out of that, using the colours from the warp and an additional weft with the boucle. Hope you enjoyed it.